Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Let me know. Oh, yeah, I don't know what the hell. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me? You're on mute, Aaron. Aaron, you're on mute.
How's that?
That's good, but I think you have to turn, it echoes, but I think you have to, there you go.
So I was gonna try and do it like this, so, people could see the meeting. But, well, look what the cat dragged in. What a nice surprise.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, good. Yeah, oh, good. Good doing.
Yeah,
I can't see him.
oh, should I say it too?
Yeah, that's maybe.
Oh, okay. I got that wrong. All right, so actually, okay. look at it. I actually printed out agenda.
Wow.
And they're the revised agenda.
And then, yeah.
Can you hear this?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay.
Bob, would you fall off your chair, Bob?
I dropped the phone.
Oh, yeah, right. You should have seen.
I'm in San Francisco, as you can tell.
I see that.
Well, I got too many of
New
these.
York in the morning, San Francisco in the evening. What a guy.
I guess we'll have some for the public. Do you want an agenda, Mr. Mr. McKenna?
How long you get from home?
Well, we pushed it to the end. Which made sense. Someone suggested it because they said that people are probably gonna have a lot of questions.
How long should you-
Our meeting's only a half an
We're
hour.
going to half hour, that's it.
Half an hour.
You can
It may
go,
even be shorter than that because we're
I'm gonna say.
on high speed.
yeah. And speaking of which, okay,
Just feel so that, you know, tonight is my birthday.
I sort of.
Yeah, so I just
I
want
get a
to.
happy car.
Yeah,
I-
well, it's not supervised with you not to send every resident a card.
every volunteer.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. 6 o'clock, call the meeting to order. Michael, you're taking notes, right? You're our scribe. You're back. Everyone's back. All right, okay, so, there's extra agendas up here. If anybody wants them, they're not actually final. Okay, so 6 o'clock, roll call to order. WEC members, in person are myself, Erin Moran, Stacy Anderson, Susan Painter, welcome back. This is your first meeting back after being on a hiatus. Michael Holber. And on Zoom, we have member Bob Wolf. In the galley, we have Supervisor Bill McKenna, we have Marcel Nagel, probably doing that, Ken Panza, and Linda Lover. Okay, what did we do? One, move to adopt the agenda, anyone?
I moved to the dock.
Bob, you seconding it?
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the minutes were not distributed from the last meeting. That is on my table, and I will do that soon. No correspondence.
Never mind, Aaron, go ahead.
No correspondence, no announcements. So we have no new business, so we're gonna get into it. I do just want to review the format. So the public is here to observe. We're gonna go through our agenda. At the end, we'll have, if we have time, we'll have time for public comment, 2 minutes max on that. Let's see. All right, Stacy, the climate change and education project.
Well, my update is I talked to Anna and got all the details about the project and the website page. I'm gonna meet with Bill and Melanie on the 25th and Anna, so that we can all go over it together. So I'll have a lot more updates.
The 25th of this month?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. How Marlene, I know last time we ended up tabling a lot of stuff because we just did. So we were supposed to kind of bring our notes. How does everyone want to do that? Do we want to circulate our notes from the site visit or what? And Michael, are you taking lead on that?
Sure.
I thought you were. Were you? Yeah, your wife says you are, so.
No, she said.
You are. All right. So how about we all send Michael via email, our notes, our comments to the site visit? Perfect, thank you.
When I was there, I mentioned a couple of things to Judith Kerman and she said that they were on top of it. So,
That's reassuring.
yeah, that's good.
And also, Michael, since this will be your first, I'll send you some examples of letters we sent to planning board in the past, just so you can get the kind of gist of it. Sorry.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, hello. We have a late member of the public, Lizzie Van. You can pull up a chair. forever. We got started promptly today. Everyone's Saltan in their summer. Okay. 10 Church Road is on hold, because it's on hold. Anybody?
What recent decisions?
So I think we were talking about drafting a letter to send to Bill, and then I think Michael and Bob wanted to kind of think about it more, and Stacy, as far as what we hope to get out of it. So I think there's just some more discussion around it. Oh, yes, I guess I'll allow it.
So I have reached out to the Attorney General, we've been back and forth. They're paying me yesterday, and I finally got Michelle Mitchell, Chief of Staff, is now in the middle of it.
Really?
And we're trying to set up a meeting with the attorney. I forget her name at the moment, I have written down somewhere. Someone from this body would like to join us on that, I think it's gonna be Zoom meeting, that would be fine.
When is it? Do you have a date yet?
We're still trying to work out things,
Okay,
as soon as I have the time from those two groups that works, I'll let you know.
okay, great. All right, that's a good update. Green Festival. I mentioned last meeting that there is a it's a festival coming up. It's called Green Festival at the Bearsville Theater. Lizzie Van is here, who's as I don't know if any of you guys know. Does everyone know who Lizzie Van is? She owns the Bearsville Center complex. She's done a wonderful job with it. So I actually spoke to her in between the last meeting and tonight. So just to recap, Stacy and Michael, we're gonna man a table, kind of like this. And what we'll do is I'll give you guys such up with all the Earth Day stuff, the NRI maps and all that stuff, so to educate. Cool. And then
So we're gonna be there from like, the 12 to 6.
I have some.
yeah, so do you mind? Yeah. It's probably mine.
Lizzie, are other groups, is there like an application for groups to participate?
Yes, my friend, my colleague is taking there are lots of people that don't come, but for me, Woodstock is one of Woodstock community groups. Nice essential, so when we take this through, my hands out, put your handouts. And well, now I've run out of my handout. I didn't know this, but maybe could you possibly share? Is that all right?
Or you can take pictures of your phone too.
So here,
Okay.
so that was the only one that reads my numbers.
No, we're working on it.
So,
That could be.
So yeah, let's let Lizzie.
yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe we can talk after, because there's things about composting that we're working on, but it's also part of the town's initiative, so.
So let me take you through what we're trying to do.
Oh, okay.
We're trying to put in, this is the first of an annual green festival. And rather than it just be, hey, come along and find out about solar power or something, I thought, oh, it's be really good if we had 5 distinct areas and each of those areas accept a challenge. So I talked to Ken and you explained about the current smart communities, and I tried to understand the full system in that and where Woodstock is, and with its strong certification. And it seemed to me that what the area to focus on would be housing and transport, those are the two biggest things of carbon.
Can I just ask you to clarify, because when we spoke about it, so when she says housing, she means green housing, not
Yes,
affordable housing.
yes, that's tomorrow's meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, so, if you can imagine, I'm sure you all know that there's a park at the back of the theatre, and it's the lawn that's behind the theatre, and then there's another area where we're going to stay. On that lawn, we're going to put up what I call stations, so 5 distinct areas. One of them will be about housing, one will be about transport, one will be about waste. Fourth one will be, waste and Woodstock, hello. And then the final round will be our heroes, because I think this is very inspirational groups around with the food and the pollinator pathways. Or the shopping centre and those alone, they are already doing some amazing things, and I think that we should celebrate them and also give them challenges, say, come back next year, and what will you have done next year, but you know, the citizens of Woodstock can contribute towards or just be aware of it. So these 5 stations, the first one is how to reduce carbon from housing, and I'm sure this is something this committee has talked about many times, but I spent a long time talking to one of the people on Cornell Extension who is paid for by my survey. And he told me how easy it would be, if, depending on different income levels, to register for it and how it would come to home programs, which involves an energy audit, and then you get, if you go to the next stage, then you are given financial help to do air sealing, or proofing I call it, it's a pretty person, proof the glass, we put in insulation, we put in, heat pump for water, and then renewable energy. So he's going to come along, he's inviting these other people to come along, there's going to be stations there that you can find out about. And I'm really keen to make it so understandable, because I'm sure you yourselves get immersed in this sense that there are so many programs and it's all statistics and it's, do you qualify for this, and is it a discount or a grant, blah, 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 blah. And I actually have to stop Mike and say, let's just make it really easy to understand. If you've got a household income of less than $50,000, like, what can you get, and how much of that does it cover, of your hot water or your attic installation, whatever. So, second, I'm really welcome, make it really easy to understand and then to apply for. Also, as you said, there are other people coming, so energy conservation services are coming, you've got communities between power and rifle, which is all coming. The second one that came focus on my mind was transport. And transport is a hard one to learn how to talk about, because it's about this freeway, it's about school buses, it's about a lot of different aspects of transport. But the ones that we know that we as citizens can impact on are, we can get on a bike, we can get on an electric bike, if it's old as we can't get hills anymore. We can get into an electric car or a hybrid car. So I have talked to the Neo Auto Group in Kingston. I went and tried all the different electric cars, 100% electric cars that are around, and it's Toyota and there's a Hummer, there's a Hummer, there's electric, there's so much. But very few of them are actually available, and very few of them are actually affordable. So the ones that seem to be the most affordable and available were Kia and Chevy Blazer. So we're going to have one of each of those actually in the middle of the park with the statistics about what they cost, what the leasing is, what they save you in terms of money for your gas, what they save some carbon as well. So that's a nice thing to have. People are fascinated, I think, with transport. And then electric bikes, and we can get really from electric bikes to come and talk about his bikes, which are kind of the high-end sort of enthusiast bikes. I'm also trying to get some low-end electric bikes in there as well, so we get Berkshire bikes. I'd love to be able to talk about the electric school bus initiative that means that all school buses are going to be electric by 2035, but I'm struggling for that one. And I'm inviting residents from the Clean Streets Committee to come as well. And then the third station is how we deal with waste. And I know we're all trying to deal with waste. And my frustration as a business owner who owns a restaurant with a cafe and espresso is, what do you do? You know, do you reduce, give away, take out products, you know, like paper cups? Do you insist on only doing draft beer instead of bottled beer? Do you insist that your customers put things in the right sorting bins? And then do you insist that waste management company or county waste or whoever, or the transfer station is dealing with it really well at the other end? Because as I was saying, some of them is fuss about whether or not they actually do recycle it, or it actually ends up on some of the person's landfill site in India, and they're trying to make money from it. So I'm trying to bring all the parties to that, whether it's composting, or it's the waste companies, or it's the Ulster County Resource Recycling Group, I'm seeing on Friday. There are complex initiatives you guys know about, the people in Newport, there's another one that's coming through that's based in Hudson and maybe Boston. There's your own initiative that we're really pushing through. So I'm trying to, that's one that I'm still a little like, I'm not sure how to do this. But again, it's always going to be very simple, like there's the public. We will get over 1,000 people at this festival. Over half of those will be Woodstock residents, so it's important that we get the messages right, and that they are simple to understand and they're simple to take action about. The fourth station, which really should be the first station, but I'm not sure that you guys really want to get out there and do this, is celebrate what's been achieved so far. So I know you have things with the highways department and the town hall and the new buildings that are going up and there's LED streetlights and all sorts of initiatives, because when I met Bill and Aaron, they told me about that. I'm not sure that people know about it, so it's an opportunity to reach out to them and tell them, but also to work out how to make sure they don't forget as well. And obviously, I assume that we're working with getting the private sample points and trying to get further up the ladder, if you like, on that one. So again, I'm involved the residents in it, because I haven't been very to. I've looked at having electric vehicle charging points in. I know the town is looking at electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles. We have a farmers market. We have other things that have happened. So it's an opportunity really for the town of Woodstock to shine. And it should be, it's like the rest of the town, it should be at the forefront of all of these things. If you say what's the top 20 towns and cities in America for green, Woodstock's not on it. So Woodstock should be on it, and I would like to see it on it. And then the local heroes I just mentioned, Bread Alone, Shaking Centre, Land Conservancy, Forest Pathway, and farmers markets. I want the Tory Prime Minister to make a public commitment. So for example, I'm going to ask now as leader, what's the next thing on this plan? Using renewable energy. So I wanted to tell you that, and Aaron very kindly said I could come along and tell you, and I'm very happy to answer questions. I'm also very happy to work with whomever on your committee who might like to get a little involved and help me put this together, particularly for the town of Woodstock station.
You mentioned Kate. I think if you give us Kate's contact, so as we know people who are interested, we can.
Yes, it's Kate at Bearsville Centre.
There you go.
Kate.
Thank you. You have something, Susan? I didn't know if you had a question.
No, I get wrong, right?
And then, so we're gonna do the table there, how do I get a hold of you, not you right there?
Yes, that would be great. Yeah. So I'm Lizzie at bearsvillecentre.com with my cell phone. I'll give you business.
All right, great.
Actually, put that on the sheet.
Thank you so much.
Sorry. Gee, really think-
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my.
Oh, and then actually, I wanted to, we had 2 additional people come in. Can you just state your name? Terry Liver and Mal, yeah, thank you. Sorry, we took to
What's your name, sir? Taking notes.
Vince Mal. Thanks, sorry about that. Yeah, so Susan, I'm seeing a head nod, so it looks like you're interested.
I'm
Okay.
very interested in.
Okay,
getting
so maybe we'll connect again. I think it's great. I mean, I went and I saw the setup and it's really nice. It's really beautiful. It's really engaging, and I think it'll be a great success.
It'd be a nice festival. We always
Yeah.
have live music, there are 75 decibels at the borders, and we have nice cocktails, non-alcoholic and alcoholic and food. So it's a real family thing. I would say that maybe 3/4 of the people there have children. And so we have a TV that they're painting, and we have cornhole and badminton and stuff. I love music, and it's a really nice event when we do our little festivals.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening, so.
Okay, and maybe it'll be like our Earth Day dot too.
Yeah, we had talked about moving our Earth Day to July or August.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a way for us to bring some of those resources.
Okay,
So
Great.
what should I do? What do you want me to do next?
Well, how about, so Susan, it looks like do you guys want to rejoin meeting? Because I'm thinking maybe we should just get together. And maybe like another walkthrough just to show and get an idea of the layout. Do it either. So Susan will do it, I'll do it, Michael. And- All right, Bob, are you interested? Where'd Bob go? What about Bob?
There he is, Bob. He's in San Francisco.
Oh, he's got the arch. Are you interested in being included in that, Bob?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we do that? July 20th will be here before you know it, so we'll try and do it in the next couple of days. We'll try to get together.
And I would like to get very dependent as long as I'm point system a little bit more on what the town is expecting its next time is to do, because that's one way it's really got the information.
All right, yeah. All right. Great, thanks so much. You're more than welcome to stay.
Thank you.
Have a seat. Next on the agenda. Water, town water. So Bob is usually taking the lead on this, but since we have Mr. McKenna here, I think maybe Phil, would you mind coming up to the table, to the stage, so I can get you on film or on camera or whatever? Thank you. So I
Get on board.
Hmm?
If I could just touch on, composting for 1 minute.
Oh, yeah,
So just to give you an update, because I was working with you and,
right.
Ray, and, so we're gonna start next week at Farmers Market. We've got the containers all ready to go, we're gonna be composting over at the,
Sorry.
chips pile at the salt shed.
Michael is the only person who comes.
Okay.
Very good. So we'll let you do your call.
You may call and we can, meet later this week.
So the town bought the containers?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry, where's Bill McKenna? Can you send him in?
Sorry.
Okay, that's great news.
Yeah,
Wow.
and our compost chair didn't even know.
Yeah, we'll have to reach out. Okay, that's great. Thank you. So the water, so did everyone get a chance to see the results?
Yeah.
Good news. So I guess, Bob, do you want to talk about the results for a little bit and then we'll hand it over to, Bill? With next steps or?
I think most people in the room know that, you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, most people in the room, I think, realize that the latest round of testing and analysis showed levels not what's called non-detect. But I'll let Bill elaborate on next steps and plans and things like that if he doesn't mind.
Okay. Great, Mr. McKenna.
So, and Bob and I had, some texting, little texting, not texting, and emailing back and forth, and I think we're in agreement. With the town, my recommendation to the board will be to continue testing every 3 to 4 months, Bob mentioned quarterly. So we'll do that. Both well fields came back as non-detects. So we will continue to take a sample from each of the well fields. What the plan had been, if there had been a detector to come back at one of them at the same well field, for instance, the next step would have been to test each individual well. And try to identify where it was coming from. At this point, we don't need to worry about that. But in the future, that would be the plan. If we saw developments that we would isolate the wells.
The quarterly testing would mean August, so would be the next test. May to August.
So we just got the results, yeah, it's on the show.
Yeah.
That's what we
Okay, good.
Put it on the calendar.
Let's-
I have a question.
But we just want to hold comments till the end and we're just gonna finish everything up.
So one of the other things, until we know exactly what we're up against, it's a little difficult to know what we would need to do to remedy it. But there have been conversations with the town engineer that we would look into some type of charcoal filtering. And, we've gone back and forth with whether we would just do that in one spot or whether we would do the individual wells. I think he was leaning towards doing the individual, smaller individual wells. But that's, we can't come up with a design for that right now until we know if and where the problem is, but the conversation is started.
Thank you for being so proactive. I'm really glad that these came back. I know Bob was very, we only had 2 sets right now. We only have 3 sets of data. Let's wait. We've got to wait. We still need another one. Thank you for doing it again.
I think this is now the 5th set of data, so we had 3 tests that came back non-detects in 21, 22.
But they weren't testing until 21.
21, 22, and 23, so we have 4 sets.
Yeah,
23 was when we got the detecting.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're all fine.
There was no detect in 22.
yeah, there's, wait a minute, maybe there was. Let's see.
Yes.
I have all the reports going back to the cavemen. 22 was the 0.86.
Yeah, that's another detect.
Okay,
It's
actually,
non-detect.
yeah,
Yes, because labs can't detect below 1.86. So if you look at the test, it says less than 1.86. Part of the issue has been that we only were required to test for this in 21. And they haven't come up, they keep changing the guidelines and procedures.
it's
and
very
how it's
new.
supposed to
This
be
is
done.
all new.
This is all new. And Bob, you know more than I do on this subject, but basically they cannot detect below the 1.86. And therefore they can't absolutely say that if they get a reading below that there isn't something there, so nobody wants to be called a liar, nobody wants to be held liable. So if it comes up below that 1.86, it is a non-detect. And that doesn't mean there's 1.86, it means it could be 0, it could be 1.5, but it's a non-detect, it doesn't register.
Yeah,
And so we've only had 1 detect of 3.48 last December.
yes. And we're looking for a pattern, and so far we don't see one, which I'm really
Which
grateful. I'm really
I
grateful.
will, let everybody know, I mean, we immediately called the health department, they shrugged their shoulders and said, well, you're going to test in a couple of months.
And that's why I'm saying thank you, because you're not required to do this every 3 months, but you're being proactive, which.
We try.
But I appreciate it because everybody, this is a hot topic. Susan, you look.
No, I just had one question. I know these labs take forever. Is there a way to expedite,
And it's only gonna get more difficult because,
more people?
part of the issue was that in December, the state limit was 10. So we were
Right.
less than even halfway, and the EPA had a non-binding recommendation of 70. And it was on April 9th or 10th, when the EPA all of a sudden, I shouldn't say all of a sudden, but they lowered it. And that isn't, as best as anybody can tell me, that's not in effect yet, but it's basically it's where we're going. Somebody suggested, one of the health department employees suggested it could be 3 or 4 years before that's actually an actual requirement. But it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's the goal.
We don't know whether the PFAS is safe or PFAS is safe.
Correct.
So it doesn't matter if they are the cases, but I was just hoping it could be expedited because then we could move faster if there was another.
Unfortunately,
And unfortunately, with more testing, one thing that I've heard is because this testing is new in the labs, there are retests being done because of, what is it, false? Thank you.
I don't know if that's the proper term or just, for instance, we don't know why we got a test, a positive test, did the flak fall off the jacket of the individual collecting the test? Did the lab worker contaminate it? Was there something there that is now since flushed out? For instance, in the well fields where we did get the positive test, we had just brought online a new well.
That's what Larry was telling us today, had a lot of new equipment in that.
So what, was there something on the pump or the pipe that eventually flushed through the system? Because it doesn't go away, but if there's only a small, it doesn't spread. So if you've got small contamination, in theory, it will flush away. That's what it could have been that. Nobody knows, and I don't know. As best I can tell, there's no way that we'll ever confirm it.
I think a way to, if it's the town disseminated information, just like we're doing tonight, we're ready to all the citizens,
Right.
it'll be a lot less confusing.
Yeah, and again, I think part of it was in December, we were pretty low, and everybody's no big deal. When they dropped the limit with the EPA, all of a sudden it became a much bigger deal. And I would also point out, the other 4 board members all are aware of all this and didn't hear anything from anyone.
Actually, has anybody heard from anybody? I haven't. Has anybody heard from anyone? No. Actually, that's not true. I heard from Manula. She had questions. But other than that, I was just wondering. Okay. Bob?
Are we gonna?
So, yeah, so Bob, can you hear me? Bob, can you hear me?
One other question.
Yeah, I can hear you.
The schools have notified the families that the kids are gonna be on bottled water now. Is there?
I don't know what they sent that letter out, at this point, it's no detect in the system, so I don't know what they're gonna do.
Right.
It's school vote.
Yeah, so.
It's 1 more week.
So Bob, originally, we were talking about drafting a letter. I think you were gonna, dot the i's and cross the t's about making recommendations to the town
For this issue.
for the water testing and say, hey, testing for. Do we
Well-
want to revisit that? What? Talk.
Well, based on our email correspondence with Bill today, I mean, it sounds like we're moving forward, the town's moving forward with the quarterly testing, which I think is exactly what you have to do.
Anybody else?
I have a suggestion for communication purposes, maybe with this issue or any other water issue, like it's something. You would have to qualify with what it is, but if something out of the ordinary is happening and we post the water results on the website, maybe Larry could draft this little explanation. And what they're gonna do about it, we're gonna be testing again in August, and that way. People individually don't have to keep calling the office.
Right.
It's right there.
I'll talk to Larry about them.
Larry told me today that he didn't feel comfortable being the person to make the statement that he really needed the engineer to do that.
That was one of the initial concerns from Larry.
Yeah.
But we also, Aaron and Anula have been working on it and helping with it. We are gonna have a town hall or a information on
That's great.
exactly 24th.
That date changed a lot.
I think it's July 24th. And there'll be some discussions, the health department, the county health department, as well as their doctor will be there.
He's gonna have a
That
lot.
was July.
Is that a Wednesday, July 24th? Yeah, I think that's the day they landed on.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I'm getting an email.
Have you done quickly?
Yes, thank you so much. So we decided we'll hold off on the letter now because it sounds like we're actually,
I don't think.
no, it was for Bob. It wasn't for you.
Because we've had this conversation, but you haven't had it with the rest of the board. If I get something in writing, then
Oh, with the rest of the town board.
I would encourage you to send communication.
Okay, do you hear that, Bobby?
No, I couldn't quite hear Bill. What was that?
I would just, I mean, it could be as informal as an email, but I think the WEC should send your thoughts and recommendations. Or even just say we're in agreement that we should do A, B, and C.
Right.
Yeah,
I would-
sure.
I would encourage you to do that.
Yeah, I'm certainly okay with that.
Okay,
right.
thank you, Bob. And thank you, Bob, because you and I have had a couple of chats about all this, so thank you for any of your assistance through this.
You're welcome.
All right,
Goodbye.
thank you very much.
One question, sure.
1 year ago, we started the thermal project. The geothermal project, they're gonna dig up the town and put it in geothermal.
Wow, what you're talking about.
I understand the final report has gone through its final review,
Okay,
so I wonder what the next steps are.
we need to ask council person Rick.
Yeah, the WEC's not involved in that right now.
She's handling that one. She did give me what I thought was a draft review. I was in judge.
Well, like she probably figured it drafted and
Oh,
that's what's.
But I mean, it's like frozen.
Monday ago, they had their final.
That's great.
I haven't seen the final. It really happens. I've been waiting for that space.
Yeah, the last of one.
But I mean, that's great.
It was a little early.
But I think that's.
Yes, I haven't put a lot of time into it at this point.
Understandable.
Was that right?
She did briefly tell me a couple weeks ago
Yeah.
something about three possible areas where they could try Rock City Road. And somewhere down Mill Hill and Tinker Street. One of the things they liked about Tinker Street is it's gonna be built up with this. Year or so, if you think something late pipe.
Yeah.
So that's where that is.
Okay, great.
I will, keep apprised if I get a meeting with the Attorney General.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
Oh.
Your invitation, not theirs.
What's that?
What was your invitation, not theirs? When the attorney general calls, it's generally not a good idea.
I've requested the meeting. To do with parole something,
Yeah. So Bill asked, I don't know if you heard, but he asked if someone from the WEC wanted to join, maybe that's why, so,
Yes.
thank you.
Right.
All right, I got nothing else, anyone else? Michael,
I'm good.
Stacy, Robert. Looks like he's pointing to the San Francisco Bridge. Does anybody from the public want to say anything?
One thing is just a point of information, but they can, and Bob will already know. But the report that we just got does not say 1.86 is non-detectable. It's called, a report limit, and it's stated by the laboratory. When a substance is non-detectable on an EPA protocol, laboratory facility, they use the term ND. If you don't see ND and you refer to it as non-detectable, that's an error. What it says is less than 1.86. And although I don't completely disagree with Bill, because the earlier 0.89, I was talking to the health department about this, it's so down in the dirt. Your accuracy really starts going down a bit, but I love it. So I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it, but I don't want the town to seem like they don't know what they're talking about. So I would not refer to those results as not that. It's just.
Thank you.
Observation.
It was the R.
I also want to point out that the test results I'm concerned us with nanogram per liter from last year. That sample was taken in June. It was reported in October and during the regular time period for the town. But it wasn't until one of the people that I know spoke with Larry that the town actually retracted the report and mentioned that, oh yeah, PFAS has appeared. I mention that only because I think a lot of what we're learning right now is that we're gonna have to deal with this stuff for a while. So being prepared, knowing what to say, frankly, I think the state should be guiding municipalities on language. I've worked with both federal and state groups like that on just boilerplate, so you can say something that doesn't freak people out, and yet they know what precautions to take personally. And I think that we need to get that part right, that's all. I think we're gonna be seeing more of this. I was a little surprised to find that
30 seconds.
firefighting foam might be an issue. And then I thought about it and I said, well, even if they threw all the stuff away in the fire department, all the stuff they've used over the years,
ended up with furniture that went to landfills. So there's issues that we're gonna have to deal with, and I just really, applaud you and encourage you to be as proactive as possible.
Thank you.
For instance.
Anyone else? Terry?
Just mention, I appreciate you, I apologize for not knowing your name.
Stacy.
Stacy? Yeah, nice to meet you. But I, would reiterate what we were saying about communication to the people in the town. It's that which builds trust, not lack of communication, which is what we've seen. And you can just talk to the people on the street, they do not trust, they may be, saying, okay, this is happening, that's happening, but do they trust what they're hearing? And by and large, I feel the answer is no. And it's by being open, whether it's the WEC, whether it's one of the other boards, or whether it's the supervisor of the town board. There's just a barrier there, which promotes distrust. And it's permeating this community. So thank you so much for your comments and your encouragement to the supervisor to be more transparent.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I just personally, I think the 10 Church Road situation really, a lot of people lost trust in the government in Woodstock Town Board over that. They felt there was a lot of misinformation, and I think that was, I don't know if it was a catalyst, but we've all been talking and we're really trying to do it right with this water testing. So hopefully we will with communication, but you're right. I saw the reports on the website, but they're just reports.
Right.
It would be nice to say, right. And it'd be nice to say, hey, here's what we're doing next. It's missing.
If there's a big issue, it should be mailed on.
Yeah, just like the school
Yeah.
sent it to all
That's true.
all the students,
Yeah.
families.
So, sorry. Thank you.
When the families get a letter from the school saying that the water's contaminated, but they haven't heard from the town.
But
that
now
it really breeds mistrust. Though.
it does, but I will say the schools is saying the water is contaminated, but is it? We really just don't know right now.
But point being, had there been a proactive statement?
It could be
Here's-
by the supervisor.
Here's what we've discovered. We found this out in November, and here's what we're doing about it. Then we probably could have avoided a lot of the fear of all these families now who are thinking that their kids can't drink the water.
Yeah, we're not that town. Yeah.
I think some sort of street out more than not in one, maybe we can get it there. Absolutely, but at least bad news is a definite one.
Well, if there could be an explanation, like you just explained very clearly, various issues. That should be done like,
Anyone else have anything to say? Nothing? All right.
I just want to quickly,
Yes.
at some point, I want to talk about the Green Festival and Earth Day, because it seems as though it's sort of.
Well, she said
becoming
she's gonna do it every year, and I kind of liked that, and she's going to do it every year. She said,
Right.
I
and
think.
So at some point, we should talk
Yeah.
about what that really means for us,
So-
spending so much energy on Earth Day.
Yeah, I gave them our PR list.
Good.
So, and I said,
Good.
here's how you do it. So I was kind of helping her. I said, because she asked me to run it and I was like, no. I mean, I have to start saying no. So I said, here's how we do Earth Day. It'll start
Right.
baking
It's
itself.
also the Scarecrow Fest is also a very similar event. So
Yeah.
all that has to come together. Okay. That's
All
I
right,
have to say.
thank you very much. Meeting adjourned 6:43. Bye, Bob.
Vince, how do you know all this, Vince?
I haven't been in there for most of the year.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if that is to, what,